Well, folks, I figured I'd get on here and we'll kind of talk about something I talked about a little bit yesterday. Your Fourth Amendment, excessive use of force and things of such. So the Supreme Court came out, and that was the other day, but now it's starting to make the news where they said Felix the cop, not the cat, the cop, he could use excessive force because that guy put the car in gear and took off. But Felix jumped on the sill of the car and the door. Yeah, the sill and the door between that, and shot into the car and killed the guy. They said, well, that was reasonable. Okay. You know, what would a normal person do? You know, what would a normal incident or situation like that entail? Well, I'll tell you what it would entail. And you see it happen quite often. Car stops, cop gets out, he walks up to the car, starts to walk up to the car, and all of a sudden, the car just takes off. Cop doesn't jump on the car, he doesn't throw his body into the car, nothing. What's he do? He runs back to his cruiser, jumps in his cruiser, and takes off after the car. That's usually what ends up happening. So, you know, cop put himself in that position. So he did not have the reasonable expectation of self-defense or, you know, whatever there. You know, to end the situation the way he did. You see, and that's what the Supreme Court came out, and it was unanimous too, surprisingly, 9-0. Said, yeah, you can't do that. The other two courts, you know, the state courts and appellates said, oh yeah, the cop's fine, he's okay, he's good. Give him another certificate and a medal for being a menace. Supreme Court come out and said, no, you can't do that. Because, you know, basically, you could have avoided the whole thing by not jumping on the car. You put yourself in that position. Okay? Well, think about this for 2 seconds. Okay? Cop has a right to end the situation when it puts others into a risk, possible risk of something happening. Not that something's going to happen, but something could happen. Okay? Well, let's stop and apply that to the police. And this happens. Cop's firing his weapon at someone. And most cops, they're terrible shots. I mean, they miss more than they hit. Okay? So those stray rounds go somewhere. Where? Who knows? But let's use their logic. Those stray rounds could kill and harm someone, maim them. Okay, if that's the case, and that cop is being a danger to society by firing that weapon, okay, when he doesn't have to necessarily, just because the person's fleeing or this or that. All right. The cop is a bigger danger at that moment in time than the person that they're after. Does the civilian population, I hate calling you civilians because you're not, you're owners of the country, but do you have a right to end that cop? Because he is a bigger threat than anything at the moment. Those bullets are flying all over the damn place, possibly going to kill people, and do sometimes. So do you have a right to end that cop? To end the situation? Because he's being reckless and dangerous. See, it's just like these stupid cops. They want to chase cars. Well, you know darn well you're going to chase, the car's going to drive fast, right? They're going to try to run. Okay, what happens? All right. The car takes off, looks behind them, and they're flying down the road, looking around like, nobody's chasing us. Whip around this street. Don't hear any sirens. Don't hear nobody's chasing us. All they're going to do now is try to go somewhere and jump the car, get to where they're going, whatever, and they're going to play it cool because, normally that's what would happen. They're not going to continue to, race down the road like an idiot, and, next thing you know, another cop picks them up or somebody calls the cops, yeah, this car just ran the stoplight, blah, 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 or they crashed. But this is my point. Instead of having one car flying down the road at 100 miles an hour, you got, 5 or 6 cruisers, 7 cruisers. Now you just amplified that situation by that much more. Instead of de-escalating the situation, they escalated the situation, which now, because there's more cruisers running around out there, flying down the road like a bunch of idiots, now they could actually kill someone. Say, innocent people. It had nothing to do with any of this bullshit. Do you have the right to tell the crew, the guys, hey, listen, write those guys a ticket for being dangerous? Say, do you have a right to end it? Because they not only are flying down the road at an excessive rate of speed, chasing the bad guy, but now they themselves are running a deadly weapon down the road. Just like when they're firing their weapon. It's a deadly weapon. The rounds, the bullets are flying everywhere. Could hit anything or anyone. See, let's apply this equally and fairly. Say, by all rights, what you're telling me is equal protection under law, supremacy clause, a bunch of other crap. It's telling me you can't do what you're doing. Oh, we're law enforcement. You're not enforcing any laws whatsoever because you're breaking them. Well, I'm doing this in my line of duty. Your line of duty is to keep the peace, safety, so on and so forth. When you're out there racing down the road at 100 miles an hour with 10 more cars chasing this guy, you have just created a huge, huge risk to the public. When you're firing your weapon in public, you have increased the odds of someone getting hurt or killed because you're an idiot. You see what I'm saying? Everybody's got it. See, that's what I was talking about dogs. Dogs have their place, don't get me wrong. But to sick a dog on someone, the dog doesn't know. The dog's just going by instinct. The dog's going by what he's taught. And the dog's usually taught, grab him by the arm, take him to the ground. Okay. But then the dog gets him on the ground, and the guy's in, and they called the dog, and you see it, they yell at the dog, and the dog's still going crazy. What happens with that dog? Yeah. It's your drug dealer. It says canine, whips through them drug dealers. You're dead. You're going to lay there and bleed to death. What if he hits an artery in your leg, arm, or something? Bleed to death. See, the dogs are excessive force also. It should not be used in many circumstances. And the other thing is this, and this is a big problem. Guy's running through the backyards and stuff, and the dog's chasing him and stuff. Also, somebody's out in their back lawn, I don't know, sweeping up leaves or cooking on the grill or hosing off the driveway, and all of a sudden the dog sees a person running this person, and the guy's like, oh, what the hell? And, he's like, tenses up like he sees this dog, and all of a sudden the dog says, oh, you're a target. He's an innocent guy. He's like, what the hell? He gets attacked by this dog. You see what I'm saying? These cops they're tyrants, and they're dictators, and they're dumber than a box of rocks. What's a cop do when he wants to really screw with you? Like I pointed out yesterday with your ID. They already know who the hell you are. What? Oh, I smell marijuana in the car. Oh, I smell alcohol. You see, now they're playing their effing games with you, see? and you can't trust them. Happens all the time. Oh, look what I found. Oh, what's this? There's a can of beer underneath the seat here. Oh, here's an empty container. You could plant that stuff there just as easily could be. And the guy standing right beside him might be right in on it too. So you got to have people that are very honorable people, trustworthy people. We just don't have that today. It's a mindset of us against you. No, it's not us against you. It's not us against anybody. Because the fact of the matter is really stop and think about it. Most speeding tickets are just bullshit because who did harm? I mean, I'm not talking about someone being a reckless driver. That's different. Somebody's flying down the road, 100 miles an hour in a school crossing. It's like, well, you moron? Yeah, pull him over, give him down, and throw the book at him. If you're driving through town like that, yeah, throw the book at him because they're a moron. They shouldn't have a driver's license if they're doing stupid stuff like that. But let's say they're out on the interstate. If you're weaving in and out of traffic and this kind of stuff, riding people's ass and stuff, oh yeah, pull that person over and give them a ticket. Throw the book at them because they're a moron. But if you're driving fast and you see a car up there, you start to slow down because that car's not going as fast as you, so you can not get right on them. And then when something opens up, you carefully, you kind of look around and you go around everybody. I'm not talking about incoming traffic, oncoming traffic, but I'm talking about, if you're on the interstate and everybody's going the same direction. If you are passing people, you got to be careful and mindful of, curves and roads, that come onto the road and hills, and you got to be mindful of a lot of things. It's not just, I could pass. Well, is there a car coming down the road, that might turn onto your road, or a bicyclist, because you get now, you're getting a lot more people, riding bicycles out in the country and stuff, so you got to be careful. They don't understand that because they're stupid. Come over a hill, and they've got four bicycles taking up the whole lane. It's like, well, you come over a hill, and you're not. I don't even drive the speed limit. I'm number one all the time because I don't drive the speed limit. And I come over a hill, and it's like, man, if somebody else would have come over that hill, you guys would probably be dead right now. I mean, I drive maybe 35, 40 miles an hour. It's 55, but I don't drive the speed limit, usually. I used to driving tractors and stuff. Hell, I get going that fast, I think I'm flying, And these guys, and it's like, you guys are morons, It's like somebody come over that hill and run over you because you're an idiot. There again, you gotta, when you're out in the public and you're out on the roads and everything else, you got a duty to your own person, your own self, to protect yourself and to be smart and not put yourself in harm's way. There are things that happen. Don't get me wrong. They're just called that, accidents. But there's a lot of times people can avoid some things. Not everything, but some things. And that's really what I got on here to say. These police are irrational, irresponsible, and do you have the right to neutralize that threat? If the threat is putting the public in harm's way. Because they're saying the cop has a right to do that. Well, do they? I don't believe they do. I don't believe they have the right to go out there. If you got an active shooter, so that might be another subject, because this guy's firing bullets all over, cops are firing bullets all over. Jesus God, That's a nightmare. You got a whole bunch of idiots firing weapons and stuff, and it's like, oh, those bullets are flying in every direction. It's like, thank God, that's a nightmare. But what are you supposed to do when somebody's doing that, firing at you? I mean, no simple solution on that one. But yeah, I mean, that'd be like, somebody turning around and running away, the cop shoots him in the back. Oh, I stopped him. Was he a threat to you? Well, no, but I stopped him. It's like, you shot him in the back. I mean, come on, man. I mean, you gotta stop. You gotta stop and look at this stuff, okay? Because reckless driving is one thing. Speeding, it's another, depending on where you're speeding and so on and so on. You get what I'm saying. So, you tell me who you're harming. Really. Who you're harming. I don't know. See what I'm saying? They forget there's people on the other end of this stuff. Okay? They forget when that dog attacks, that's a living person, human being. Okay? When you're chasing somebody down the road, there's other human beings and stuff in these cars. And you're amplifying the situation and making it worse. You probably already got the plate number and the whole 9 yards on the guy. And if you don't, and it's reported stolen, well, is the car worth possibly somebody dying, getting in a bad accident because you're chasing them like a moron? Is it worth? You didn't pull over when I sent you, so I pit maneuvered you. Well, when we turn those lights on, you're supposed to immediately pull over. So I pit maneuvered you because I can do that. You are a dangerous imbecile. And you should not only not be a cop, but you shouldn't even be in society because your brain's screwed up. It's a stupid little infraction that means nothing. But it doesn't matter about that. We're going to destroy someone's car, possibly get someone else killed or injured because, who the hell knows where the car is going to go. I mean, somebody else, they might fly in the wrong lane, fly in the ditch, come up out of the ditch, hit some kid on a bicycle in a yard. I mean, even the person in the car could die. Because you didn't pull over immediately. Well, that cop should be fired immediately. Because he's an idiot. But they forget that's human. That's a person in that car. It's simple, I saw this cop. He's an older guy too. He knew better, and he does a pit maneuver. The woman gets out of the car. She's pregnant, and she's like, it was dark, and she had her flashers on even. She knew he was back there. Had her flashers. They were on the interstate. She turned her flashers on. She slowed the way down like 40 miles an hour, even waved like that, and she was trying to find a spot to pull off. Get off the interstate. For her safety and his. But he didn't care. Yeah, when you do that, you better pull over immediately. So he pit maneuvers her. It's like, dude, you should be fired. You should be ashamed of yourself. When you got home, your wife should have kicked your ass for being an imbecile. Your mom should have come over and kicked your ass. Your dad should have come over and kicked your ass because you're an idiot. They need to smack some sense into you. I mean, come on. You don't need people like that running around in a uniform and got some authority. They seem to think. You see, they always forget there is a human, a person, with feelings and a whole bunch of other complex stuff that is happening to. Okay? And it's a stupid infraction. This guy was being pulled over because of a rental car. I guess the car was his sister had rented it or something. It's a rental car. Anyways, he was driving it, and the car had some toll violations. Like it just went through and didn't pay for the toll. Wow, really? The guy lost his life over some toll crap or whatever. Why? Because then you started your bullshit. Oh, I smell marijuana. You started pulling more shit. Of course, the guy's black, and he's thinking the worst here. He's like, what? Yeah, he used poor judgment. But the cop was wrong too. They should fire the cop. All there is to it. Matter of fact, they should do more than fire him. He should be sitting in a prison somewhere for bare minimum manslaughter. And I know I can hear cops. Oh, we can't do our jobs. We can't do our jobs. You're doing pit maneuvers over I don't know a car that's going I don't know 5-10 miles over the speed limit. I don't know, 100 or 150, $200 ticket. Really? You smashed the lady's car up. She could have died. The baby could have died. You could have actually hurt it all over what? A stupid ticket? Really? You're an imbecile. I mean, this is what I'm getting at. Our law enforcement is screwed up. The whole system's screwed up. It's them against you, and I'm going home to my family at night. Well, they don't give a shit about anybody else, do they? That's the wrong way to look at things. Everyone should go home. Everyone should go home. You shouldn't be such a stupid moron. Unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. I mean, I ain't had a ticket in God, I don't know how long. Decades, just decades. Because I don't drive fast and whatever. And the thing of it is I mean, if I got pulled over, I'd be like, I'd pull over. You'd want to see my driver's license because he wants to write me a ticket. Here's what I am. Just go write me a ticket. I'll either pay it or I'll go see the judge. I'm not going to sit here and argue with some moron. That's what he is. He's just a little enforcer, a moron. He doesn't make decisions, you see. It's like, oh, where are you headed? I don't know what that is. I don't know what business is that of yours. I mean, what does that have to do with anything? Why did you get pulled me over? Because I was, quote, speeding. Okay, I got it right. Go back, write me a ticket, and I'll be on my way. I'm not sitting here. I mean, you didn't pull me over to chit chat. I don't really want to talk with you. I only talk out of a courtesy, and that's it. You got all the rights, people. You have qualified immunity. Why? Your founding fathers. And these people want to strip all this away from you. They think they control the narrative with this, we're this, we're that. It's like, you know what you are? You're a problem that needs to be dealt with. And you have to have courts that will hold these people accountable for their stupidity and dumb, stupid actions. I mean, that's why I feel like with ICE and things like that. I mean, yeah, they're going to throw everybody out of the country, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But initially, they're going after the real bad guys. The real drug dealers, the murderers, the rapists. I mean, yeah, that's the people you should be, the real hardened criminal, that's the people you should be going after. Right. That's the people you should go get. Guy speeding down the road, whatever. I mean, if you're speeding down the road, you can simply just, you were going 10 over, you realize that. No, I was just going down the road. I didn't realize that, officer. Oh, okay. Well, I'll give you a warning, and just pay attention next time. Really. But no, you got to write them a ticket so you get more revenue. It's not enough you pay the absorbent amount of taxes and taxes on top of tax on top of tax on top of tax, and more tax. Okay? So, I could go on and on. I can. But you understand what I'm saying. And that's why you need to learn to write criminal charges, against these people. The DA is not going to do it, but you can. your wife, your cousin, your brother, your mother, your sister, a neighbor, tell guy across the state. You could write it. You could write them. There's a lot of sharp people out there. There's all kinds of things these people violate constantly, day and night, and there's a lot of smart people that could just write things, and it's like, man, they really start putting the hurt into the judicial system, because a lot of these judges aren't worth a shit either. Most of them are idiots. They're not very smart. They're dumb. I mean, use some common sense, and that takes you a long way in life. I don't know. You folks, hopefully you listen through this to the end. I mean, I should say that at the beginning, but I usually don't. I don't even think about it. But I'm going to call it right here. I mean, hopefully I gave you something to think about. Because I know right now, you're thinking about probably 100 other things that's like, yeah, they do this and they do that, and they're in bigger danger than right. They are. They're reckless. They're dangerous. And the law says they can be. That's not a law. That's a dictatorship. Not a constitutional republic where each individual person has rights. See what I'm saying? I mean, they would have blanketed this all up and say, oh, the cops can do this, and it doesn't matter how many people they injure. Well, wait a minute. Each one of those people is an individual and has individual rights, so yes, it matters. Matters a lot. Just because your stupid-ass policy, it means absolutely nothing. I mean nothing. It's not law. It's not codified. It's nothing. And even if it was, it would be unconstitutional as hell. And that's what our problem is. They don't follow the Constitution anymore. And this is why you have to learn to write charges against them. To hold their feet to the fire. And learn to write bar grievances. So you can hold their feet to the fire. You see, they want to use your licenses. I mean, it don't matter what type of license. I didn't realize people that cut hair have to have a license to cut hair. To cut hair. What the? That's the most moronic, idiotic thing I ever heard of. Got to have a license to cut hair. Jesus, man. You got a right to work. If you want to cut someone's hair, go ahead and cut their hair. I mean, what the hell? It's idiots. But they pass out all these licenses because that's how they control you. With a license. They have licenses also, so you can control them. They have insurance. You can control them. They have bond ratings. You control them. You understand how the system, yeah, you're getting it. They don't want you to know this. They don't want you to know these things. Because the fact of the matter is when you walk into a court, judges are licenses. Lawyers are licenses. Cops have the oaths and all kinds of, they got all these rules and shit they got to follow. You walk in as a layman, a no one. You got all kinds of freedoms and leeways and stuff because you're not governed by a license. See? It's like a marriage license. You tell me why you need one. That's between you and your significant other and God. And the church. Used to be births, were written in usually a family had a Bible, and then they wrote, male child name, blah, 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 born, blah, 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 and they have all these births in a Bible. So now we've got to have birth certificates, so, well, we can make money off you. That's what it really comes down to. And control you, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, folks, I am going to go. You have a good one.